All right. Last night, Thursday night at about 10:25 p.m., out by Sherwood Terrace, deputies responded to a shots fired call. It was in the 31500 block of 71st Street of Salem Lakes. And what happened was there were 4 people in this small house. 2 suspects came to the front door, kicked in the front door. One of the 2 people, who I've been told is a Markeith Wilson, 20 years old, from Racine, opened fire on some of the people inside. 2 people were struck by bullets. The person who lived at the house was a Joseph or Joe Riley. He unfortunately passed away at the scene. And another female was also shot at the scene. The female was taken to Burlington Hospital. She was later taken up to Freighter. I was told she is in serious condition, and that's the best I have on her condition. The 2 suspects, it sounds like, got into a dark 4-door sedan, left. They traveled eastbound to the McDonald's area in Paddock Lake, and the drivers, and I don't know who the drivers are of that sedan right now, got them out of the car, left the 2 basically suspects at the McDonald's. McDonald's called in. This was only a few minutes after we were called initially. It's kind of a boom-boom type situation, and deputies responded to the shooting location and then also to McDonald's, and we come to find out that the 2 people at McDonald's, those are our suspects in what is now a homicide. One is a Markeith Wilson, the other one is a DeMarco Hudson. He's 17 years old. Both are from Racine. We believe that drugs probably played a major factor in this. And both, at this point, I've not talked to investigators. It was a long night, and I did not talk to anybody yet since 2 o'clock, since I left the scene last night. The 2 suspects were shot. I think they were both shot in their torso. They were treated at different hospitals. They were released. One of the suspects still actually has the bullet inside of him. The other one, it went through him, but both have been released, and they're in custody. We are still looking for the black or dark 4-door sedan, and we're going through film at the different locations out there, trying to locate and come up with who the vehicle belongs to and who the other 2 people that were in the car. Because at this point, I have not heard yet that the 2 people that were in the car were actually seen at the scene, but we know that they did transport the 2 people.
So when you say drugs probably played a major role in this, to what extent? Is this a situation with a drug dealer and someone buying drugs? Or?
Don't have that answer. I'm going to believe that at least the person who is deceased, he was a drug user, and at this point, without giving any more information, I guess that we believe that drugs played a role in it. Whether it was a bad deal or what it was, I don't have that answer yet. So we're still trying to communicate with the 2 people, the 2 suspects, and like I said, one of the witnesses is up at Freighter. One is deceased. One of the 4 people in the house initially, it was a female. She took off. She's not a suspect, but she took off running when gunfire started, and we have not been able to talk to her yet.
So who shot the 2 suspects? That's why I guess I'm confused. Maybe just me, but
I don't have that answer at this moment. Our detectives might. They're still really in the middle of talking to our suspects right now. They were just released from the hospital, some a few hours ago, some recently. I actually just saw one of the suspects still in the gown in the building. So they're here, but I don't know that they have all that information yet.
So the 2 guys went to the home, the 4 people were at, they shot 2 people, 1 died, 1 was injured, and then the 2 guys drove to the BP McDonald's, and that's where they were found?
They were in a car. They were driven, I believe, by possibly 2 other people, and they got out of the car. Whether the 2 people that were driving the car said get out or they voluntarily got out, I'm not exactly sure, but they were dropped off at the McDonald's, the BP station in Paddock Lake.
You said there were 4 people in the home?
the two victims, the woman who ran, what about the fourth person?
Yes, I don't have his name, but there was a fourth person, a male.
Were you able to speak with him, or?
Detectives have been working on that one too.
And then are the 1 to 2 people that were driving the car, are they considered suspects in the shooting at the suspect?
I don't have that answer yet.
Okay.
Like I said, the detectives are actively talking to our suspects, and we're still trying to find the other people that were in the car. Jason?
So let me get this straight. The driver dropped off the two people, and then the driver or drivers are still at large. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. Yep, the vehicle, I know that they were able to pull up at least partial video last night quickly to come up and see what they had at the BP station, and they do have video of the vehicle. They're trying to get different camera angles to get the license plate, get descriptions of the people. So part of the things we're hoping for is the two people, what I believe to be two people, were to come forward and say, you know, rather than them being, I'm going to say suspects, we'd like to talk to them and see what they know about the situation.
How were you alerted about the gas station? Who did
I believe the clerk at the gas station had two people came in and they were bleeding and said they were shot.
Can you spell the names that you have, the first and last names of the people you have?
Sure. Markeith Wilson, Markeith Wilson, Wilson, and DeMarco Hudson, Demarcohudson.
And how old is Wilson?
Wilson is 17 from Racine, and Wilson is 20. He's from Racine, and Hudson is 17. He's from Racine.
And one more time, the name and age of the victim, Joe.
23-year-old Joseph Riley, Riley.
Did he live there?
Joseph Riley lived there. He rented the house.
Did you say the name of the woman that was also injured? Did you spell her name?
I did not spell her name. I don't have it here yet.
Not yet, okay. Just checking.
Do you have any more of a description of the vehicle besides black Ford?
Not at the second, I don't.
The woman in serious condition, is she an adult over 18?
It's a good question. I don't have that answer. I believed she was. I believe she was an adult, but I really don't have that answer.
Have you ever been called to that home before, or made contact with the victim who was fatally shot?
I don't know that.
Is there any danger to the community considering that the driver or drivers are still at large in some ways?
No, last night we really, as far as what we believed from within minutes of each other, we had the crime scene with the victims, and we also had the suspects. So it happened within minutes that we arrived at one scene and arrived at the other. So we were very confident that all the parties that posed a threat to anybody were in custody. And this was a targeted situation. This wasn't a random act. This was, they knew where they were going. I believe they knew what their objective was. And the general public was never at risk for this one. We had it all contained within a few minutes of each other.
Could there have been a component of robbery? Was anything taken from the residents or by the suspects or by the people?
I don't have that answer. Some of those details I'm sure we'll find out in the near future. If hopefully our suspects are cooperative, we can find out a few more answers. That's why we'd also like to talk to the people that were driving the car.
Was there any drug manufacturing equipment found at the home where the shootings took place?
I don't know what they actually found out there. I've not heard of anything about drug manufacturing.
Any idea when Wilson and Hudson will make their first court appearance?
I don't know if it'll be today or Monday.
What time is intake if it is today?
Is it 1 o'clock in the afternoon if it was today? 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I know that our suspects don't have clothes, so we'll have to find them clothes. Everything has been taken as evidence right now. Well, this has been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you guys come up with something else, I'm happy to answer it. Sergeant Malecki, as soon as we get pictures, we will email them to each of you.
And are you releasing any of that surveillance video?
I don't.
Or a still shot of the cop?
Well, I'll have to work on that one. Good question.
Based on what I heard, like, what is the, it was near Louisa's, like, right?
It's by Luisa's, yeah.
Was that a staging area, or what was that the place where everyone was going, authorities and such?
Oh, last night, there were a lot of squad cars by Luisa's. The location where this happened is really a small, old subdivision, but small. Years ago, they were just kind of summer cottages that were turned into houses that most people, they rent out now. And the roads are narrow. So the fire department, the rescue squads, the extra squad cars, Luisa's restaurant has a parking lot, so we just put a lot of the equipment right there, and that's the only reason Luisa's had a lot of equipment there last night. And we were hoping Paul would make pizzas for us, but he didn't.
The two suspects came from Racine. Is this a trend you're seeing in your county of activity coming from a larger city into the rural parts of your county?
Oh my goodness, we have a lot of visitors from to the south and from the north that come to Kenosha County. I don't know if they look at it as an easy target. I mean, not too long ago, a few months ago, we had the two people from Illinois that came up, did a armed robbery in Racine, and then came back south. So I don't know if those two people were shot by the resident there, and these two suspects were shot by the resident there. I don't know. I don't want to say I guess maybe I do want to scare people. Like, don't come here and commit a crime. The people in our houses shoot people.
So the suspects were shot by the people?
I believe so.
This is like the second time Racine County has been involved within the last couple of months. Do you feel that there's more of a concern between agencies and drugs, like, coming into this community in some ways?
Drugs don't know any boundaries. We know that between Chicago and Milwaukee, it's a thoroughfare for drugs. It's probably one of the busiest thoroughfares, and I'm sure hundreds of millions of dollars of drugs travel up and down our interstates and our roads through Kenosha County between the two. So it's something we've always taken seriously. Our drug unit is very, very active. We work with other drug enforcement agencies around southeast Wisconsin, northern Illinois. We work with federal agencies and state agencies. It's an issue that it's not going to go away, and it's very, very difficult. And having high school age kids myself, it's something that I'm just terrified of. I'd love to say we're going to get a handle on it, but hopefully we can figure it out, but I know we won't. It's something we have to deal with, and I think it's always been coming from other places.
Do you believe that the people in the house responded and shot at the suspects?
Yes.
Oh, you believe that? Okay, that's what I was just confused on that. All right. So then, is that now the one person who died? But then, is there anybody in that house that's a suspect for doing that? Then are they?
Wait, say that again.
Sorry.
Are the people in the house all considered victims, or are any of them suspects as well?
I have not heard anything about the 4 people in the house being a suspect.
But they did shoot the original suspects that came into the house?
Initially, what I was told, and I've not talked to, since really 2 o'clock this morning, I've not talked to our investigators for too much more of an update other than I got the names. I believe our victim who's passed away, I believe he's the one that actually returned fire before he passed away.
Yeah.
And again, the woman that Randy not made contact with, she should know she's not a suspect and that you want to hear from her?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have her name. We're just trying to track her down.
Describe were there canine units out there last night?
There actually was, but it was never used. It was just our canine officer was working. He came out to work. So he had a canine, but there was never a person on foot. There was never someone at large in the neighborhood. Like I said, this happened where we responded to the crime scene, and we got the suspects within a couple minutes of each other. You guys have been wonderful. Have a great Thanksgiving. We'll get pictures out to you as soon as we can, and we'll work on. We'll see if we can get that video to you too. I could see how good it came out.
I have one follow-up question.
Oh, I already wish you a happy
Sorry.
Thanksgiving.
The shots fired call, did that come from inside the home, or did someone in the neighborhood call?
Oh, that's a good question. Do we know that?
It's anonymous call. We don't know who called it in.
All right.
Who is inside the house.
Could you say that, Sheriff?
Sure. The initial 911 call that came in was an anonymous call, and obviously I don't know who it came from, and I don't know that we tracked the number down. Okay. Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Thank you.